in Egypt. I know that sounds a bit counterintuitive, but it is actually true. We don't have many Islamic papyrologists in Egypt. So we're very glad to have him. And Leonard's going to be speaking today about the Caliphate. And we'll be giving a 300 level class called Muslim Political Thought, is that right? In the spring semester. So for those of you who really love the topic, after you hear about it, you should take that class with him. And we've got flyers in the back for those of you who are looking for advice for the spring semester, who are going through the registration process now. There's a number of flyers in the back talking about our mostly undergraduate courses. All right, I'm going to leave it to Leonard because he's got quite a lot to talk about in a short period of time, and we will try and wrap up with about 5 minutes to 2 for those of you who have classes. Amina, do you mind dimming the lights in the back, and then we can start?
I think it might be. Do you have a light? No, we don't. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just worried that when the door closes, it'll be too hard to read here. If you are interested in this topic, this discussion today is really about the political history, I guess, of the Caliphate, from its origins to some of its expressions in the modern period. The course, Eric 3353, Muslim Political Thought, is more of an intellectual history of this, where we'll be looking at discussions from the beginning of Islamic history down into the modern period about the nature of political authority, including, of course, the Caliphate. Who can be the Caliph? How do you become the Caliph? Is a Caliph necessary? And so forth. But this is more a question of the real-world expressions of this idea and this ideal of the Caliphate through Islamic history. When the sound's okay back there? Yeah. When this latest caliphate was declared in Iraq and Syria last summer by the self-styled Islamic State, and I'm going to probably call them ISIS or Daesh just because that's easier, but of course they have lopped off the provincial Syria and Iraq part of that and taken on a more universalistic claim of caliphate in the last year. And now they're simply the Islamic State, but I will probably, when I refer to them, call them ISIS. But just so you know what we're talking about, when this 21st century caliphate was declared last summer, it was immediately clear that there were very different ideas about what exactly a caliphate means and could mean in the minds of different people. And I think that this was even or even especially true of Muslims, people in the Muslim world and Muslims throughout the world. Many Muslims have been at pains to show that Baghdadi and his gang are ignorant of the true meaning of caliphate and the true history of the caliphate. The most recent example of this is here in Egypt, is of course your beloved pop singer Shabala, who's just published a song, Amir al-Mughramin, the prince or leader of the criminals, play on one of the traditional titles of the caliph, the Amir al-Mu'minin, the leader of the believers, or prince of the believers. In this song, which I'm not going to force you to listen to because it's actually not one of his better productions, but he goes through explaining how ISIS is and Baghdadi don't really understand Islam. You and those like you have nothing to do with religion. Religion has nothing to do with cutting off heads, enslaving girls, etc., etc., and ends with a montage of Egyptian army stills threatening ISIS with their inevitable defeat at the hands of our army, of the Egyptian army.